This week, episode 369 of Stogie Geeks. Jason Albuquerque and myself get to interview Brian from the Pravada Club. The Pravada Club was founded in 2017 by Brian and Ophelia Desind. They're based in Orlando, Florida. If you haven't heard of the Pravada Club, just get that rock underneath you and move on. However, in July of 2020, they introduced a new venture called the Limited Cigar Association. If you haven't heard of that either, again, keep pushing towards that rock. Get that out there. You can go to StogieGeeks.com/369 and get all of the show notes there. But it is now for us to interview Brian from the Pravada Club.
This is Security Weekly, for security professionals, by security professionals. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Joe and I are already silly.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Josepa, a.k.a. Joe Hollywood, is here with me in studio.
I'm fired up. So we also have remote Drew, who is remote over in Texas. Look at you. You got some Stogie Geek swag going on in the background.
Got my banner.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm all set up for the Stogie Geek mobile lounge.
Confidence. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air, thinking you're better than anyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone in the first place.
Plasencia Cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo.
Back on the scene, crispy and clean. I am your host this week, Joe Josepa from Stogie Geeks. Welcome, everyone, to the big show. I am filling in for Mr. Asadorian this week. I don't know. It's like riding a bike. But anyway, to my right is the one, the only, Mr. Jason Albuquerque.
What's happening, Joe Hollywood? How you doing, brother? And it's so good to be here with you today. And oh my God, I'm so excited for this. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks.
See,
I'm so excited for the show, man.
As I always give internal notes here, Jason's excited because we're interviewing Brian. I'm excited because Jason's my co-host, because after we get done with some Brian stuff or in between, for those of you who don't know, in Jason's day job, he's a CISO. That is like Chief Information Security Officer. And I always approach Stogie Geeks from a marketing standpoint. So Jason today gets to tell me if I know my shit or if I'm full of shit. It's going to be an awesome show.
It's going to be great.
Because I have been preaching behind this microphone since January 2nd of 2017. I've been doing cigar interviews since February of 2014. And yeah, the show was supposed to start in May, and it started in February. But that's a long story for another time, or maybe this time. Who knows what the hell is going to come up. But anyway, we have the opportunity, as we've been doing some promos all week long, a couple days now, and excited to introduce to you Brian from the Pravada Club. Brian, welcome to Stogie Geeks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. This is quite an elaborate podcast. I'm very, very impressed. I've been impressed watching you on YouTube and now being behind the scenes with you guys a little bit. I'm even more impressed. So thank you for having me, and thank you for being professional.
Oh yeah, awesome. No problem. Let me tell you something. Like this is I tell people this all the time. So I say it countless times. Like I'm truly blessed to have had the opportunity to meet Paul Asadorian and have him have this platform. Right? Yeah. It's Stogie Geeks has a platform, and then I get to learn about some cyber stuff, which pays the bills because this kind of cigars might not, right? So
you gotta pay for the cigars. You gotta pay for the cigars,
right, there,
right.
and it's super cool. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize until they come to the studio. Recently, a couple weeks ago, we had Noel Rojas come into studio. We've interviewed him twice here on Stogie Geeks remote, like yourself, remote. I've got a lot of DMs this week. Or PMs, I don't know what it is. Is Brian gonna be in studio? Like I could stop by the studio. It's like, dude, I did not answer one. It's like, dude, first of all, like,
fucked up.
like, first of all, straight up as a event manager and as a Stogie Geeks host, if Brian was coming in studio, I probably would have done an event and charged admission. Just saying. Just saying.
Fair enough.
Just saying. Fair enough.
Wow. Wow. I can't believe that it's come to that. It
has come to that. Like people are like, is he going to be able, because a lot of Stogie Geeks listeners know back in the day, when I say back in the day, 2016, 17, 15, Stogie Geeks was on a Thursday night around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you could come, like we're in a studio now, but on another suite is office space, and we had a big screen, and people would come and bring 6 packs of beer,
That's cool.
smoke cigars, hang out, watch the show.
Bring that back, man.
People. Yeah, well,
So some millennial sues you for
Yeah, I got too drunk during your show and I fell down the stairs.
I went home with a smile on my face, and my wife or girlfriend or boyfriend got upset.
Like, you have to pay for my divorce lawyer.
Right. That's right. That happens these days.
Oh, hell yeah, it does. It does.
Everyone wants to know why I don't have a brick and mortar. I'm like, I don't know. I want to get involved with that. I also have this fear of like, oh my God, I shouldn't even say it out loud because it's like, forget it. I won't even say it out loud. But people are nuts these days. You don't know what to expect anymore. And it's brilliant that we're able to do stuff like this and broadcast it out to the world. And that's really the kind of thing that Privada was founded on, was I want to be able to find the best cigar I can possibly find, right? And then I want to share it with as many people as I possibly can. But I don't just want to send them the cigar. I want to send them the cigar, and I want to document the exact experience that I had, flavor notes, pairing notes, tasting notes, the story of where the cigar came from, so that they can get as close to that euphoric experience as I had with that cigar in their own home.
And Brian, that's what took me through the journey, right? And Joe will call me Pravada fanboy, LCA fanboy, but I look at it like this, right? I look at it as I was a customer of Privada, right? And you took me through a journey where I went from transactional customer, right, to a relationship, part of a community. And that's the journey that every business leader and business owner wants their customers to go through, is the journey of, we start with a transaction, you get to kind of dip your toe in the water with me as a business, and I'm going to make a relationship with you, right? And I want to talk about the business model a little bit deeper later because you know me. I mean, I'm a business executive. I'm a chief operating officer of a company now. I've been an executive in many companies, right? And eventually we want to get into that.
I do, but I want to add to that so I don't forget later, is that I don't want there to be any misrepresentation of the idea that this was planned or I knew what I was doing. I stepped in shit and I figured it out as I went along, and I really care. So I sat down and tried to figure out why these things were working. And I actually kind of journaled them all in a book called Real Communal Commerce. I make like nothing on the book. It's like $2. I put it out just to document the experience that I had with Privada, so I can, remind myself of what, if I ever have to start another business again, what it was that made this successful. And B, I want to share that experience with a ton of other entrepreneurs in a ton of other industries, because I truly believe that we've just now scratched the surface of what the internet is capable of. And I think that businesses like Privada are going to be the future of e-commerce. These shared experiences, having someone with the same values make it their full-time job to go out and curate the best of whatever. It might be someone, your dairy guy. It might be your butcher. It might be your clothing. A guy, you may never buy clothes again in the future. You may have some guy named Dave that's got excellent fashion and he knows what you wear. He knows your style, and he goes out and is able to pool everyone's money together to buy.
And see, Brian, this is exactly why I want to go down that rabbit hole of business model, right? So let's do it, and then I want to get into what we're smoking, but let's do that first because we're on a roll here, right? So I come from the IT industry, right? Yeah, me too. You don't know what this is yet, but I'll tell you in a bit. Come from the IT industry, been a business executive for a while. I've been in technology since I became an adult, really, right? I mean, it's been in my blood forever.
It's great.
But from a business model perspective, over 10 years ago, I went to the consultative side, right? I wanted to become a consultant. I wanted to be part of a consultative organization. So when I look at business models, and we'll take we can get deep on any of these, but let's take the 40,000 foot view here. In technology, you have the manufacturer, right? You have someone who builds a product, a piece of hardware, a piece of software, the intellectual property. They're building all that, right? They're building that as a manufacturer perspective. Then you have distribution and retail, right? They grab those products, they resell them. It could be business to business. It could be business to consumer models, right? But why I jumped into consulting is I wanted to go to the service provider level, right? I didn't want to be transactional. I wanted to build relationships. And honestly, that service provider model, it's a different mentality, right? It's a selfless mentality. You're going into that saying, I want to partner with my clients. I want to be a thought leader. I want to be a subject matter expert. I want to build a community, right? I want to have a deeper relationship and provide services to my customers.
You're hired, bro. You're hired.
But this is what Privada is, right? And this is why I say I went on that journey, because I realized right away, honestly, right away, the alignment in the way I think with the way your business is run. You built a relationship with me. I can tell you right now, I've sent you emails on the side, and guaranteed within an hour I get a response, right?
Yes.
Every single monthly club delivery that I get has some little handwritten note from one of your folks, one of your staff.
Yeah.
If something gets messed up, my next delivery has that fixed, right? Because unfortunately, shit happens, right? I mean, there's going to be damage in transit. There's going to be shit that happens. I'm telling you, you make it right. It's the service provider mentality versus the retail and transactional manufacturer mentality.
Jason, you just brought something up, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I forget a lot of shit. There's so much going on.
Yep.
I used every mistake as an opportunity to make a friend. Okay? Every time, I would always say to people, when we make a mistake, the customer or the member wins, because I'm not just gonna replace it, but we get to build a relationship. Now I have a captive audience. Now you want to talk to me. Now we're talking. Now we're communicating. We're building that friendship. And there are times where I can send you a little extra or something extra or a sample of something, or and that kind of thing. And so it really, I take the lemons and make lemonade, and I try to use every mistake as an excuse to make a new friend.
Yeah. And that's the difference, right? You're focused on, and again, manufacturer, distributor, retail, service provider. Service provider is focused on outcomes and positive impacts, right? And partnerships. That's what they're focused on as a service provider. So you have different types of connections as a business. The transactional connection is temporary. It's self-serving. It's not spiritual and deep. The relational,
you're always buying leads.
That's
You're
it.
always
right?
buying
That's
leads.
It, right? It's transactional. It's one time stop. The relational side is hard. It's rooted. It's reciprocal. It's back and forth, right? It's a relationship, and it's the most rewarding kind of relationship.
It is.
That's the journey that consumers want today. Not the transaction.
You know what else is great about? You know what else is great about that? Is that because it's relationship, there's enough for everyone. I will attract people that have similar values to me.
Yep.
The next guy will attract people that have similar values to him or her, and you can really carve out a niche that way.
No, I'm 100% agreed. So, I wanted to get that out there on the table. That was the attraction to the community. because I learned from Pravada, right? And I mean, we'll talk about what we're smoking and how I learned so much just from this cigar right here. I learned a ton, right?
Wow.
I honestly did. But that's a relationship that we have, right?
Yeah.
You're giving information
and everything that you learned from the cigar is I learned it right before you did and tried to pass that on to you, and you're being receptive to that.
Yeah.
So that's all that's happening there.
And you want to know what we're doing? We're sharing the wealth now because we're going to talk about this cigar today. And the Stogie Geeks viewers are going to see and talk about it, right? Because now we're passing information again. So it's a pay it forward conversation. You know what I mean? So
100%.
I didn't mean to go off the rails, but it was the opportunity to kind of talk about the business model and why I connect to it.
Dude, I was going there and I was going to save that towards the end, but that's fine. It's all good because like since Jason brought it up, like there is a gap in the retail. Okay, there's a gap in the retail because there's been a metamorphosis of a business transition in there, right? Before, like, and I'm, pardon my numbers, but to 12 years ago, your brick and mortar cigar shop closed at 7 p.m. It was straight tobacco. You brought a 6-pack. You hung out. Now you have the metamorphosis of anti-smoking bills leading to, fast forward to the cigar bar. And the clientele has changed. But there are clearly consumers out there who want... Whoa. Hello? Oh, that's crazy how that happened, Goose. There are crazy... consumers out there who want knowledge and who want to seek the knowledge, and that's where Goose, I'm fading in and out, but anyway, that's, I don't know if it's headphones, but
you sound fine over here.
That's cool. I can ignore it because I know what I'm saying, right? So right, so clearly like you're providing that service for that consumer that wants it, right? And interesting on your business timing of that, right? I mean, clearly the consumers want more. If not, cigar podcasts wouldn't exist. But there is a true disconnect between cigar podcast and cigar retailers because I'm a numbers guy, right? 17% of retailers think that podcasts are relevant. Like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Like 17%, and 86% still use the Bible, their word, the magazine, my word, right? As like, I got to give the information to them first. Now, whatever your outlet is for information or whatever, but they don't understand that, like, again, a podcast is providing a service because we get a chance to interview different people and all that. You're providing a service because people are seekers of knowledge. And if you don't believe me, step out of the cigar industry. Craft beer and vineyards are packed with kids because you can bring kids there. And again, and people, and it's kind of like the old town common where people would hang, have some drinks, talk, bring the kids would play in a little circle, and that's what it's all about. And when I owned a cigar shop, we were BYOB. When I owned a cigar shop, boutiques were cheaper and the classic facings were more expensive. So people, they bought a classic facing and then they bought a boutique. But the brands are stale. The brands are boring. The FDA is trying to get themselves together. I've been talking about that forever. We can get into that. And there's so many things on the table that are going on in our industry. And then comes Brian. And let me tell you something. Like, when you came in, I looked at you, I was like, and I can email you my customers who use your products. I know what it's like to use your product from a retail because I support the cyber back end for them to sell your stuff. So they deal with the guy off the top of my head, I think his name's Gary or something like that. It might not be. It's Gary, right? From your organization. I have the email. I'll look it up, right? But but you're dealing with that, and he's part of the LCA. So I get to see the benefits from a retailer. I get to see the benefits from a retailer online through COVID. I'm gonna leave COVID off the table for now. But the first thing I said about you, my very, very first thing I said about you, you can ask anyone, right? What? What'd you say? Putts? No. I said honestly, that kid's a breath of fresh air. I'm like, he's a breath of fresh air for the industry. People like, well, I don't know, you think his business model is only going to work because he launched during COVID. The LCA launched, right? The LCA launched, and people don't know what the sticks, and they need doing something innovative. Hey, if COVID was what it probably escalated things, but not for nothing. It escalated things for a lot of people in the industry, not just Brian from the Pravada Club.
And all industries
100%.
as well.
Even
all
in cyber. I mean, Jason talks about like employees and over on Business Security Weekly and how COVID had made things never to return. Now here we are, seekers of knowledge with the Pravada Club, and people are telling me, strangers are coming up to me like when you first launched. Are you a member? Are you not a member? Are you doing it? Are you doing it? I'm like, well, and I was like, listen, I really don't need. Like, I kind of got my own, like, Stogie Geeks Club. I get cigars shipped to me every day for free.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? From, like, every person who's, like, been in the industry. So, like, you know, I like Brian and all, but, like, you know, it's like, whatever. But I'm like, he's a breath of fresh air. Then you started going and coming out of your, I don't want to say shell, but Privada started growing. And then I start to see the stickers and the retail buy-in. And I'm like, he gets it. Yeah, he gets it. And by the way, like there are some big time manufacturers who try to host regional events out of what you do on a monthly basis. Share knowledge, come and see some sticks, get some new product. You're providing your clients or your retailers or your regular individual consumers. By the way, if you go to pravadaclub.com, you can check it out, Stogie Geeks, right?
Actually, PravadaClub.com is where we sell our merch, but the tobacco is sold on PravadaCigarClub.com. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, no, thank you. I that's good. I was just riffing off the top of my head, as I often do.
Yeah.
Right? If you sent me notes, I apologize. They're all there on the Stogie Geeks page. But, you know, it's like one of those things where, like, you know, I'm looking at you from the outside as I get a chance to look at a lot of cigar people from the outside, which is why I get giddy in this position, right? It's like, you know, I get to see them grow. I get to see them rise, get ranked, and then stay there. Like, it's super cool. But I don't know, like I'm a fan of the excitement, and that's what drew me to you first is the excitement. And I think, like I said, you're a breath of fresh air. There's been some controversy along the way, and we're gonna get
of course, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But just while it's like strictly on positive note, it's I don't want to pat myself on the back and say, oh, I'm such a great business guy. I think timing is everything in any situation, and timing was really on our side, and we were able to capitalize that. Now, what I did with good timing, I'll pat myself on the back for, which is I dedicated myself to, look, I geek out over this stuff, and I also, you know, am comfortable on camera being myself and talking about things, and I'm not afraid to make mistakes, or, you know, and so, you know, I capitalized on that, and here we are now with the most loyal following. I don't even following friends. You know,
community,
group,
man.
club.
It's a community. It's a community all day long.
And it's just absolutely amazing, and I'm lucky to be a part of it. And again, I think it goes back to the fact that I'm so dedicated to, bro. If you follow Privada, like if you're like every week, there's. Even if it's something as simple as like new bag. Who the hell ever made a bag like this for cigars? It's for a box. Now you can put your box in a bag and make sure it's got Boveda and it's perfect. It's like a humidor in a bag, right? And you get those for free if you buy a box. Like, you know, and a million other things. Look, I mean, we have these are some of the things that I'm proud of. I just picked up a couple tasting notes here. Like, you know, each cigar, it's like a baseball card. You get this information. What to smoke, you know, what to drink with it while you're smoking it, what other flavor notes to look for, who made it, why they made it, you know, and then, you know, nice pictures, and it makes it like a real experience. And then our bag is the most expensive bag that you can ship a cigar in. This is the one thing that I make outside of the country, and I can't get it made inside the country. There are bags that online look like this. So you might see that as someone out there that's new to this and be like, what's so great about the bag? I've seen coffee bags before, but this isn't like that. It's a really firm, it's good for up to a year with one little Boveda in there. And the cigars smoke better because of it. The way we store our cigars, we started growing so fast that we couldn't put a walk-in humidor in any one place because we were moving every 6 months. So we've invested in, I have over, I don't know, $100,000 in coolers. I have close to 3 million cigars now sitting in coolers with Boveda. No one's ever stored cigars like that. It's by far the cleanest way to store cigars for aging. And it's just, I care about this. Like, all the club has done is given me capital to fuel my passion and share that with you.
And reinvestment, though, because you want to know, over the course of my experience, you've launched Experience. You've launched, Explore on your website, right? The app. I do more business with Privada over my phone than I do anywhere else, right? Because I have the app, and I can do all of that there, And I mean, you brought coffee and tea to the table. You're bringing Cigar Public to the table. You have the artist series, and then just the monthly subscriptions, from farm to rare to your curated boxes to the test blends. I mean, I see the reinvestment, which keeps me coming back for more because you're just reinvesting.
I haven't been able to take much of a dime out. My father always says that your inventory is your savings, and that's cool. I was kind of in a comfortable financial situation before the club took off, so it allowed me to make decisions based on quality, not need of finance. So yes, most money goes right back into this thing because I'm trying to impress you guys constantly. There's this, I remember this thing that happened to me when I was a kid, man. I got this, you remember those balls that you would sit on and bounce? Yeah. They put a character on. So I had the Spider-Man one when it first came out. And I remember I was late to preschool or something, and my mom dropped me off. And I'm in the parking lot and I'm bouncing, and all the kids are out at recess, and they all come to the gate, and they're they're going crazy over this thing. And it's that feeling, every time I get to put out a release like we did yesterday, the French fries. So it just lights up the whole circuitry, and it makes me feel so good. And people send me emails telling me how happy it makes them. And it's just this win-win situation. So I'm just constantly trying to impress people. Sometimes it backfires. We have, people make mistakes and things like that. We had a little snafu with Subterraneo. But we'll figure out ways to make it better. And it's just that's my whole thing. Each week is I feel like if I don't, I won't have this opportunity to serve you guys much longer. And I don't want to lose that anytime soon because it's truly the most thrilling thing that's ever happened to me. And I lived 10 lives. If you knew people that knew me, they would say, this guy's lived all over the place. I was LL Cool J's protege. I mean, I've lived 10 different lives. And this is the most thrilling, exciting thing that I've ever done. And it's all because I get to serve you guys. And I never thought I would be so happy making other people happy, but it's truly something that everyone should look into, the joy that comes from making others happy.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't let those snafus and little roadblocks, get in the way, because you want to know what it does? When those snafus happen, you get in front of them, right? And it shows a level of vulnerability, which is awesome from a transparency perspective. You know what that does? It builds trust with us. Because anybody who tells you they're perfect, they're full of shit. Nobody's perfect, right? No business is perfect. Nothing's perfect. If you get in front of it and your intentions are good and you want to make a positive impact to the community, you get in front of that shit and you carry on. You make it better next time. Continuous improvement, man. That's what it's all about.
Quick note. The gentleman I deal with from your organization is Clark Thompson.
Clark Thompson? Wait, what's Clark's last name? Clark Thornton.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Clark Thornton. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
You need new spectacles, brother.
No, I gotta brighten my thing. It is Thornton. Clark Thornton.
There you go.
Yep.
Yes.
He's got to increase his font on his emails.
It's his fault. It's his
he's
fault.
He's a young guy. He doesn't need glasses.
I'm 47, goddammit. I can't see it.
Right. I know all about it.
All right. Can we let's do this. Can we talk about what we're smoking?
Come on.
I want to talk about what we're smoking, man. Come on.
I want to get dirt.
Yeah. Well, no, this is you know what? I want to share what I'm smoking.
Okay. Go for it.
There's no doubt here. So,
ladies and gentlemen, the host of Stogie Geeks, Mr. Jason Albuquerque. No, go ahead.
All right. So this is a stick I've never smoked, right? But I was super excited to smoke it. And Brian knows this is from Privada. It's the De Crocier Refinado, which is the interview cigar, right? Beautiful stick. Love it so far. I mean, so it's a 6x52, 7-year aged tobacco, right, Brian? 7-year aged tobacco, 1-year aged stick. right? And then Golden Habano wrapper, Costa Rican all day long, binder and filler, right?
Yeah.
So, but traditional Cuban style, firm, burning nice and cold, nice and smooth, nice and straight, and
so
smooth cold draw.
I want to talk, if you don't mind, I want to talk about that cigar for a minute, and I want to talk about Santana. That cigar's, I believe, is probably one of, if not the most special cigar on the market. I don't make it. I had nothing to do with the making of it. This is all Santana. Santana is like the Van Gogh? He died before he ever got famous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like no one. I think he sold one painting in his entire career, and he sold it to his brother. Okay, who bought it because he felt bad for him or something like that. So Santana's that guy. Santana is not. He doesn't bend. He doesn't compromise.
Yeah.
Everything has to be perfect, and it has to be very Cuban traditional. Costa Rica is a very special place to make cigars. If you're not in the true craft cigars, if you're just trying to make cigars and make money and make a brand, Costa Rica is not the place for you. Costa Rica is where you go when you want to spend a little extra money and make something special. Because of the location and because of the laws, they're able to get things that no other country can, and they're able to pull things from all different countries. And then when you have someone like him that's going there 4, 5, 6 times a year, checking on these things, making sure it's done right, and throwing out anything that doesn't meet his standards, which his throwouts are better than 99% of the brands. So it's an extremely special cigar. I can't talk too much more about what makes it so special other than him, okay, and his relationships. But it comes out of factories that have made crazy claims and stuff like that. So I'll just leave it at that. We're not the only people making cigars out of that factory, but I do believe that his are the most traditional. Another cigar that I made in Costa Rica was the Cuban Link. I'm not sure if you remember that.
I almost brought that one today.
Yeah, that was made at the adjacent factory. It's actually his ex-partner. There's no doubt about it. He is a tobacco genius. I don't know everything about every transaction the man's ever had, but I know that, some factories say he's hard to work with because everything has to be absolutely perfect. So I'm really honored to bring that to the table. When I see companies selling $50 and $60 cigars, I'm like, it's not that level. Mm-hmm. And those factories there, those two factories that are I think supposedly very close to each other, they've created legendary cigars and no one's really talked about it. So I'm proud to be able to bring that to the table. I'm starting to feel a little bit of maybe I should, save some of my secrets for myself. I've been very open source, and I think the more successful you get, the more risk you start to avoid risk. And I'm definitely someone that's been copied a lot, which is flattering, but at the same time, it can be very frustrating. So, that's all I'll say about that. But I really am proud of that cigar. I think it's probably one of the most special cigars I've ever been able to have the honor to sell and to share with people. So I'm glad that you brought that. I actually almost smoked it today, but I wanted to smoke another cigar that's coming out of our Costa Rican factories, which is, I don't know if you can see that, the Goat. Yep. So this is 9.5 by 44. I made it as an homage to Michael Jordan, and I'm doing everything I can to get him some of the cigars. I think his son has them right now, who actually also lives in Orlando. But this thing it's an amazing cigar, and I can't wait to share it with you guys next month. So I'm glad that you're smoking that cigar.
Yeah. No, and for folks who haven't seen the interview, I think I've watched it 3 times. And when I said I learned so much because of this cigar, it was watching that Santana Diaz, or Isaiah Santana Diaz, right? I mean,
yes, that is correct. You are correct.
And just watching that interview, from how he started in Cuba, how he tried to leave the country, how he went to Sweden, right? How he ended up in Portland, Oregon, and then built a business then. And then honestly, Brian, I could hear him say the word mahogany, because he goes mahogany all day long. It just makes me chuckle and laugh, and it was
He's
just
got
such
that
a
thick
cool,
Cuban accent.
cool experience to hear him talk about some of the history as well. And
I learned so much.
Oh my
I
God.
learned
That interview
so
was
much in
incredible.
that interview, and that interview was so needed for me personally because there was so much drama going on. And although some of the haters out there, swear that like I love creating this drama, I don't. I do capitalize on it when it happens, though. There's no reason for me not to. I just want everyone to know, like, go watch that interview with Santana, because that is me at my happiest. That is me learning on camera with you guys, bringing you the information that no one's ever really brought forth before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a great interview. All the way from the climate in Costa Rica, about how the ups and downs in temperature and humidity and the dew all make the tobacco and all make the recipe. Incredible. Just great
incredible.
interview. Yep.
It is incredible. Remember, most tobacco growing places, if you look at them in pictures, they're in valleys. Costa Rica is not a valley at all. I mean, it's very mountainous. So it's a great place for growing coffee and things like that. So it's rare that you have people grow tobacco.
I mean, just look at this. I mean,
in
look at how
climates
great
like
it's
that.
burning. This is incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible.
Brian, I can tell that no matter what you do, you pour your heart into it.
Yeah.
And from a business perspective, the more heart you give, the more people are going to hate. And one of the reasons being is because, like, maybe they lack that passion. Maybe they don't have that fire. You know what I mean? I am a very fiery person, and I wear my heart on my sleeve as well. I could tell you do. And, it's just, err on the side of caution, not only this industry, but the more you pour your heart into it, the more people are going to hate. But the more, let's face it, your business model is pioneering. Mm-hmm. Your business model is fascinating. Your consumer experience is spectacular, clearly, right? And I don't really like I'm not like a real fanboy from a standpoint of just like Stogie Geeks there. I call it how it is. Like, I'm sitting in a cigar shop and I keep my my ears are open and my mouth shut, which really happens. But like, you come up in conversation, right? Your social media presence, you're there. You don't have to show tits, which is refreshing. You
called it the last time we talked about this. So he's a disruptor. He's a disruptor. You called it.
Well, that's how I was going. Like you're a disruptor. And by the way, many industries need disruptors. Mm-hmm. Check COVID, right? COVID was a disruptor, but a disruptor produces change, and change is not necessarily a bad thing, right?
No,
retailers need a refresh, and some of them get it events wise. Some of them just hey, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna have buy 4 get 1 free. Oh well, before it was buy 3 get 1 free. Now it's buy 4. How is that different? You know what I mean? Or you know what I'm saying? Or hey, we're gonna put an acoustic guitar here, and it's great. And I'm like, okay. As someone who went to Berklee College of Music, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Like,
wow.
Whatever. But it's like one of those things where it's like, all right, like you don't have a brick and mortar. I'm sure someone has approached you to open a brick and mortar, because people approached me to open up a brick and mortar.
Right.
It's like, dude, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to continue doing what I'm doing, and you continue to do what you're doing, but you pour your heart into it, because I can tell. Because let's face it, marketing, it pops, right? The cigar one, right? Honestly, you put that much packaging in it, just up the price and put 2 cigars, because you almost like don't want to throw the bag away, right? Like, you know what I mean?
You don't have to. It's a single humidor.
I know, but it's like how many cigars? And it's funny because I bought 4, right, when they came into the brick and mortar, and I kept 2 bags, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing with these bags? Like, freaking, I'm not even like you know what I mean? Like,
cigars in them.
I know, but it's like, I got plenty of things to put a cigar in. You know what I mean? But it's like you again. You went over and beyond, and you over delivered. You put trading cards I know that from a retailer perspective, you did a recap kind of trading card set of all the sticks that came out in the year. And it's funny because I was going through them with one of my client who's a customer of yours, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that stick. This was great.
Isn't that cool?
You know what I mean? Like it's a cool concept, and you know, and I think it's fresh. I think it's innovative. I think it's needed. You know, before we get into any type of controversies type stuff, take us before Pravada Club and before LCA. Like, who was Brian and Ophelia? Like, what'd you guys do?
Yeah, so I had an auto transport business. I was a work from home entrepreneur, online e-commerce, little SEO to market and stuff like that. Before that, though, I was a singer-songwriter, started out as a rapper when I was like 14 or 15. This is pre-Eminem. Then Eminem came out, and it was like, yeah, good luck, being a white rapper.
Sure.
So I met this guy, and he was a guitar player. He also went to Berkeley, Mitch Mitchell, and we turned all my rap songs into like rock rap songs. And then we found out, it turns out that I had a pretty damn good voice. So I started writing songs where I was actually singing.
And there's some YouTube videos out there. I've seen them.
Yeah, there is. So the one that's out there,
Fanboy.
Okay.
Listen, it just gets blasted around the community to bust his balls is what happens.
Fanboy.
So I wish the videos that I did that I really appreciate the music for. Oh no, I hope this battery's not there. If this battery dies, it's supposed to be charging as we go, but if it dies, matter of fact, let me see what I got here if I have a connection. So I was a singer-songwriter, musician. I loved doing it, and I thought that was what my life's purpose was. About 31 years old, I woke up in a van. I was opening up for a group called Rehab, and I was pretty drug addicted, pretty emotional, unstable, just depressed a lot. And I decided that I reached my expiration date. And this is after I had very close brushes with major success, and it just never quite panned out. And then so I just withdrew from drugs and music, and it was very, very hard to do. It took me about 2 years to start feeling like a normal person again. But I was okay with, kind of suffering through that because I knew, there was something better for me on the other side. And I started working as a chauffeur. I took a job as a chauffeur. First of all, I moved to Miami from New York, and I took a job as a chauffeur because no one in New York was going to let me stop doing music. I mean, I was written about. I was at all the nightclubs. I would play some of them. I had residencies at really cool places like Arlene's Grocery and stuff like that. And long story short, it just, there was no way that it's like quitting anything, people, places, and things. Mm-hmm. So I went down to Miami. I'm not sure why Miami, but I just went there, and I became a chauffeur because I really didn't do well with authority. I couldn't have a job where a boss was over my shoulder all the time. I would just say "fuck you" and quit. Yeah. And so I was a chauffeur. I thought that someone was going to get in my car that was like a billionaire that had like a company and be like, I'm going to hire you. That was next big thing. I was like, I'm going to meet some rich billionaire or some guy's wife, and she's going to be like, you would be great as a vice president at my husband's company. And that never happened. So I took a side job doing auto transport brokerage, which is the worst form of phone sales you could ever do. It's just all promising people things that you have absolutely no clue whether or not these things can come true or not. If the driver's going to show up on time, what the exact cost will be. I mean, you can round it down into the nearest 100, but it can, it's like any market. It goes up and down constantly. So,
your battery's exhausted. Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, so I'm going to pull out of this thing. Let me go over here.
That's cool.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about the stick you're smoking, Joe? I want to know what you're smoking. I don't even know what you're smoking, dude.
Oh, I can't.
What?
Because I grabbed it from Paul's F-off section.
He won't watch this. He's not going to watch this.
Which has been a thing. Which has been a thing this week. It's been a long week.
Come on. What is it?
It's been a long week.
What is it?
I'm smoking one of the original Natanos.
Okay.
That
Yep,
was shipped
yep.
to him long time ago.
All right.
So yeah, Strew Estate.
Yep. Nathaniel,
So it's box pressed. It's super tasty.
Yeah.
Paul, as you know, Paul is into aging.
Yep.
Cigars.
Yeah.
And freaking, he's so disciplined. And so are you, right?
I try.
He's so disciplined with that. But I was like,
Hey, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brother.
If I leave this meeting, can I jump right
Yep,
back
jump
in?
right back
or
on the
what?
link.
Yeah, hold on. Quick. Yep. Goose will open it up. Yep. Go for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we got this.
No worries. We got this. So you don't have to worry about editing, Goose. It's all good.
We can talk all day.
Yeah. So I'm smoking that and whatnot. I had a crazy morning here as always. Stogie Geeks at Friday.
I walked into Joe crazy when I came into the studio.
Stogie Geeks on a Friday is crazy for me. It was crazy at 2. It's even more crazy at noon, which is on new time, but it's all good.
That's cool.
It's all good. Emails like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot of activity going on the YouTube channel.
Oh, do we? Nice.
Yeah. It looks
What do we
like everyone's just kind of talking to each other, which is what you guys are used to with Brian's platform. But if you have a specific question for Brian that you want to ask via here, I'll do my best to keep up with the chat.
Or even any of us geeks, right? Even us. If you have questions for us, why not?
Yeah.
Look at the way this thing is fucking burning, dude. Look at Joe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It is
super cool.
amazing. Bro.
One that sticks out is Bruce Rogers says, at Stogie Geeks, quote unquote, you're not gonna show your sticks, tits, laughing out loud, like, you know what I mean? It's like so funny,
I just lost it. I just lost it all over myself. I was seeing how long this thing could go.
That happens in that chair a lot. Just so you know, you're in Paul's chair.
But this cigar's amazing.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't get any more. I got my stash. You want to know what though? You talked about aging. These are probably the ones that I brought are from this year. They're probably some of the least aged I have. This one's probably 60 days aged. Mm-hmm. I usually I told you last show. Yeah. 60 to 90. I'm a 60 to 90 guy, and then I'll smoke. But amazing stick. Amazing.
Yeah,
stick.
you're disciplined with that. We get sticks here and whatnot, and it's all good. It's
all about preference, man. It's all about the preference.
It is. I admire that. I've never been even. I'm really into wines as much as I am into cigars. I'd love to kick off a wine podcast at some point, but bandwidth.
Yeah, right.
And it's like we don't let them age as much as they should. And we do our thing, but it's good. Some of them have been aging. I think having kids helps age wine. So just so you know, we've had the domestic conversation of we really should probably like stop buying and get in, stop drinking some of this stuff. It's like, yeah, we will. It's all good. And the kids are playing baseball. We'll do the sippy cup. And
That's it, right? Bring some road sodas with us.
Yeah. But it's super cool. But yeah, with Brian here, it's like I said, like I always observe people from afar, just because of the position, of being on Stogie Geeks, and like I said, we have the opportunity to meet most of the players here in the industry, and it's super cool.
Yeah, it is. And the funny thing is, I went. We were talking about the Crossier cigars, right? I went back into the Stogie Geeks history, and Stogie Geeks actually interviewed Santana a while back. I think it was what 160. Yeah. No, 159. Wow. Episode 159.
Does it have a year
from
on that?
2015, brother.
Yeah, that was
from
pre-made,
2015. Yeah. So I mean that dude is super detailed, man.
Oh yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I was impressed with that interview.
Definitely. We've interviewed a bunch of people, and like I said, like I tell people, because I moonlight in a cigar shop, so I get the retail experience there, and I'm not always like, hey, Stogie Geeks, but sometimes it comes up and they're like, oh, is this a new or someone will come back and be like, man, like your podcast is like a documentary.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, first of all, it's not mine, it's Paul's, but I'm like, yeah, like you can go in there, and hats off to Paul for
having the vision way back.
Well, the vision back there is I can't believe the similarities between the cyber and you're in it between the cyber industry and cigars business model wise.
Agreed.
It's just the numbers are different.
I mean, we just kind of ran through some of the model, right? I mean, we ran through some of that business model.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on, Brian? You back? You can hear us, brother?
Yeah, I'm back. I can hear you, and I'm on the computer this time.
It happens more often than not.
That's okay.
All right, cool. So,
good to go, brother.
Brian, I know you're slated from like 12 to 1, but do we have you till 2?
2 o'clock. No
All right,
problem.
cool.
All
2
right, man.
o'clock.
Well, we were just talking, Brian,
We're
about...
just getting started here.
Yeah,
I
no
thought
doubt,
so.
for real. This
Well,
is...
you know, I have no word economy. He's a fanboy, and I'm sure you got a ton of shit to
Jason,
say.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
He calls
both of
me
you,
fanboy.
but
He calls me fan.
I certainly appreciate you. It amazes me month in, month out that you guys, you know, always. I mean, I do feel like I've displayed, you know, that I'm worthy of the trust, but it's a lot to trust someone, you know, to do what I do for you guys. And again, it just brings me so much joy, and I'm always trying to up that ante and make it even better and better and better.
It's 100% obvious, you know. And we were just kind of reminiscing, Brian, because Stogie Geeks actually interviewed Santana in 2015, episode 159. I mean, you're talking about back in the day with the Flawed de Crossier tins. Back then,
yes,
that's
amazing.
That was the interview, right? And what is it, the 512 release? Is that what it was? It was like an address or some shit, right? The 512 release. But yeah, back in 2015,
the guy is just incredible, and I look forward to, you know, hopefully discovering even more.
Well, didn't you just release some new ones from him? I think I saw something new on the site, right? What is it? The Golden Blend series? I think.
Yeah. So the Golden Blend series is his highest end product. It's right here. Let me show it to you. Hold on.
You're connected. All right. Yeah. 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 Brian, for those of you who are just listening, he's getting up and getting
check this
something
out
to show us.
So this is the box. It's numbered, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then when you open it up, this is wrapped around this. It's beautiful. And then you have one of the nicest, you know, he comes from a cedar box making background. So, you know, I mean, this is the most traditional.
If I remember from the interview, he started in the cigar industry making boxes, right around something like that, right?
He was making boxes illegally in Cuba.
Yes.
Bootlegging.
That's right.
He was bootlegging. And he eventually learned how to blend because he would get the people that worked at Partagas and a couple of the other factories to basically steal a few cigars a day. And eventually he'd have enough for a box and he'd go out and sell the boxes to tourists. And, you know, you can survive on very little down there. And then what happened was the security guards started catching on to it. So what they decided to do was to send the head rollers would send him to the farms. So he would get a ride out to these farms, and the guy would tell him to give you a pound of this and a quarter pound of that. And he would start to basically blend cigars based on what these, you know, world-class gentlemen that have been doing it their whole lives in Cuba, in the biggest factories there. You know, and that's how he learned how to blend cigars. That's pretty damn cool.
It's super cool. And just to learn the terminologies. I mean, he was talking about the different blending terminologies that were in Cuba versus the Costa Rican, the way they blend things. I mean, just the terminology from the way you build a cigar. Absolutely amazing. Again, great interview. So go check it out.
Are you a member?
I am, yes.
Jason.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the best bang for your buck.
I'm farm rolls and the PCC. So
this is the best bang for your buck in cigars, in my opinion. These are the best cigars on shelves made by AJ Aganorsa and a few other places.
Well, what was the one I just got last month? Was it a Rojas drop? What was it?
That was a Rojas takeover.
Yeah,
every cigar in there was from Rojas.
Yep.
I mean, these are the best blenders out there doing their thing for us. Have you tried any of this yet?
I have not tried one. I have them in my stash. I'm only 6 deep. I don't have 12 yet.
Bro. This is AJ at his best. If you think you know AJ, you don't know AJ. These are what he told me were his most special tobaccos. AJ is a full body blender. There's no two ways about it. And these are some of the best full body cigars I've ever had. People haven't really been smoking them because they've been collecting them, but you know, we do have our 3 winners. There was that was the snafu that I talked about. Somehow we shipped out I was supposed to be doing this scavenger hunt for, you know, about 8 or 9 months this year.
And you remember this, right, Joe? I was telling you about the scavenger hunt.
Yes.
So here it is, Joe. This is Subterraneo.
Yep.
there's a story about these creatures on the back, and they basically are from Mayan god legends, and they live they're kind of trapped here underground. They can't really do much. And they were just kind of left behind by these, alien type gods that would come down and try to civilize us. And so they all live underground, and they feed off of nutrients that actually help tobacco grow. And so two of these, this one was in Farm Rolled, so you had to be a member of Farm Rolled to get this one. And I think this one there was only 2,500 of them given out in the club, and this one there was 7,500 of them given out in the club. The rest of them were dispersed through LCA shops, and people went nuts trying to put together a full box. The first 3 people that got a full box, I told them that I would fly them out here and we would hang out for a day and just do some cool stuff. If you read the story carefully, so the cat kind of got out of the bag on that, and somehow we made a mistake in shipping, and all of them went out. And so it wasn't supposed to happen so quickly, but it did. And so there's, on the story on the back, there's 14 characters, but this box only holds 12 of them. So there's still 2 other characters. So stay tuned for that. And I will kind of revamp the program again with these 2 characters, that will drop probably in another 30 to 45 days. So it's going to be exciting once again, but the cigars themselves are they're masterpieces. AJ's really poured his heart and soul into this. And, it was surprising to me because AJ makes probably 35 million cigars a year. He is by far the best mass production blender in the world. I mean, his cigar, each one is unique from the next, and how he does it, I don't know. Most factories cannot do what he does, and he is also so passionate, oversees every single part of the operation. And I was really surprised that he approached us and said that he appreciated what we were doing and he wanted to contribute and be a part of the movement. So we're honored to be able to have that was a real wild card that worked out. And I mean, we are so much better for it. Half of the LCA releases are AJ2 like now, and they're all just one after the next. I'm just getting compliments and compliments. A lot of other people's cigars I put out, and you have to appreciate a certain style to appreciate those cigars. So I'll get 90% of people out there saying, oh my gosh, I love the From Chico. And then there's that 10% that are like, wasn't for me, And then it's like with AJ, it's like everyone's like, that was a banger. There's no doubt about it. It was a banger.
And
so,
you also got to think what he said to you, Brian. Like, I want to be part of the movement.
Yeah.
Right. And, it's not like, ex-roller, like AJ said that to you. And it's only going to be a matter of time till that email pings or the phone rings. Probably phone rings, the cigar industry. There's not a lot of email. Right? And they're going to want to be part of the movement because, again, a disruptor, you're a lightning rod. You know what I mean? Which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. Yeah, totally. While you were getting all situated, I invited the people on our Discord server and on the YouTube to ask any questions. And also, if you're on our Discord server, we have posted the episode to 159 there as well for easy reference. But someone asked, is Privada going to drop more, pardon if I butcher this, the Combalum to the club or...
Cobalum.
Okay, thank you. Or is that going to be at LCA shops?
So the Cobalum is the blue mask.
Okay.
It's like we consider that the good guy. Those are all gone.
Well, Ben, there's your answer. They're all gone. So
Go trade.
stop,
Go trade. Go
stop
trade.
trading online.
Go
kid.
trade. Stick chaser, baby, right?
Stickchases.com. All right.
So Joe a couple shows ago called me a stick chaser, right?
Yep.
So
I love that.
Stick chaser
I'm
because
buying that
I
right
want to go.
now.
I want to go find shit, right? So
I want that.
My recent stick chase was the Tatuaje RC1. That's only a Euro release. I got a brother from Germany who's going to be sending me that shit. Two
Wow.
10 count boxes for Stogie Geeks to enjoy, my friend.
Wow.
In transit, brother.
Quick note.
Pete was a huge influence on me and the Pravada business model,
Quick note.
or the products.
Quick note, Brian. I do a lot of observation in the industry, and when you launched, in my opinion, and got going, I actually bought stickchases.com, and my intention is to sell it to you. Just FYI. Just FYI. Like, you know what I mean? And if you want to create a forum where everyone can trade on your platform, stickchases.com, that I sell to you, or do percentage points, or sell media for. I don't know.
business, baby.
Right? We can talk offline. Jason knows people who can accomplish that as well. Right?
Okay.
We can work together,
You know,
my friend.
So, welcome to your new business partners. If you want
We'll help you
stickchases.com.
hunt. We'll help you hunt.
I'll say this. Out of most people that I talk to in this industry, you guys, sound like you can make some money and do real business.
You know,
so.
by the way,
That's,
I have a lot of other URLs that like I see where their platform's going, and I'm like,
so you're
yeah.
URL hunter.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I'm
that's right.
you know,
I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So thanks for answering that question. I'll try to scroll for some more questions.
So,
there.
so Brian, you talked earlier that you were a protege to LL Cool J. So I'm a huge old school rap guy, right?
Yeah.
And the opening lyrics to Gin and Juice is there's so much drama in the LBC. and when the drama started coming out, right, around the PCC, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, there's so much drama. There's so
Jason,
much
I
drama
say that
in the
to myself.
PCC. It's hard to be Brian D.
Jason, great minds think alike. I repeat that to myself every time something happens. I go, there's so much drama in the PCC. I say it to my wife all the time.
Oh my God,
It's
that's
crazy.
awesome. But you want to know what? The next two lines are, somehow, some way, I keep coming up with funky ass shit every single
Like
day.
every single
That's
day.
you. That's
May
you.
I get a motherfucker? Hey,
right?
that man, you're bringing me back. So, yeah, there's been drama. The internet, it's very easy to say, oh, well, the internet culture, loves drama. The internet creates drama. Drama's always there, right? It's just now it's online and it goes viral.
Yeah. We're so much more connected than we used to be. Right?
100%.
So it's inevitable that shit's just going to spread, right? And I think you've done a good job, again, getting ahead of things, right? You've done a good job getting ahead of things. We started talking about, I think, 3 shows or 4 shows ago about regulation, right? And there was a whole bunch of drama with Fuente about regulation, right? About marketing to kids and all the bullshit. And we hit that head on here on Stogie Geeks, right?
I gotta stop you there. That's the only thing that I probably have a regret on. Fuente, fucking Carlito Fuente is a legend in our business. And I felt a little bit bad of doing a little bit of mocking with him. I thought it was all in good taste, but my goal was never to hurt anyone's feelings. This man has family in this business, and I have definitely spoken to some of them that were a little hurt by that, and that was never my intention. I thought it was going to become a really cool thing where we kind of do this thing and then come together.
I saw it as a ball busting opportunity where you can bust each other's balls back and forth.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
But
let's remember, we're dealing with cigar makers,
right,
Latin people from different countries, very old school. And so it wasn't taken that way, nor was it reciprocated. And, I definitely I don't feel bad, but it is what it is. Meanwhile, the guy is so gracious. We talked through an intermediary, and he's an extremely gracious person, and says there's no hard feelings. So
that's awesome.
That's
That's
really
good.
cool.
That's
and,
good.
and no one can do what he's done in this industry. So,
Agreed.
as far as the drama goes, man, I feel like it would have been silly of me not to capitalize on some of this. And by the way, I'm still dealing with some of the drama, and it's coming from, organizations within the industry that feel like some of the stuff that we're doing is, potentially attention getting from the FDA. Meanwhile, I called the FDA directly and said, look, I don't want to play these fucking games. What am I doing something that, and they're like, no, you're not on our radar. We don't give a shit.
There you go.
Yeah. Which, honestly, I have been saying this since 2014 when I've done Cigar Club Radio and Stogie Geeks. Like, the premium cigar industry is handling this the wrong way. They need to define their own category, and we're not marketing to kids. And by the way, you put superheroes on stuff, or Cookie Monster, or whatever, Skittle, whatever the hell, candy bar, this and that. Dude, 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds, 60, 70, this is what they did as kids. And by the way,
Right.
cigars I like the modern day trading cards sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you trade with your friends. Hey, smoke this, smoke that. You trade online. You give barters or
Got
money.
fucking
or,
crazy
It's
ass
brought,
stick
it's brought
chasers running around.
excitement. It's brought excitement to the game.
Yes.
We needed that.
Right.
We
You need
needed
it.
some, dare I say, youth. When I say youth in this industry, a youth, I'm talking about 30, 35-year-olds.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Maybe a few 25-year-olds. I've never once gotten a call from someone saying you sold cigars to my child online. We have a different protocol on our website to prevent that. We have the regulation, the things you agree to. And by the way, kids don't. I was just a kid 20 years ago. I would have never wanted to. I tried my first cigar at 16. I damn near spit it out. Was like,
Right.
what the fuck is this? And why would your mouth is not ready for this at 16 years old?
True that. True that. True that.
Yeah. It's just the way it is. And they're not going to spend $15 to take
no.
the wrapper off and roll weed out of it, which is why we're getting away with this for now. Will it be taxed? It looks like eventually, yes, because that seems to be the way everything goes. Tobacco's an easy target. But we've been lucky both in Democratic and Republican formats where, the guy who threw out the substantial equivalence was Obama appointed. I am right down the middle, by the way. I think a lot of people look at me and think that I'm extremely liberal. I am not. I'm a capitalist. I am an American.
Yep.
And I believe in freedom. I live in Florida for a reason. Okay. I don't always agree with everything the conservative side does, and I don't always agree with everything the liberal side does, and that's why I'm right down the middle.
Agreed.
I think, like most of us, we all agree it's time to have more than two parties. So if anyone wants to know my political agenda, that's it. I really don't give a shit as long as it's not taking away from my freedom.
I love it. I love it. You know what? I've always said, and I dabbled in politics for a little while, and I'm a fiscal conservative and a social libertarian, right? So
100%.
spend my fucking money
smart
wisely.
people are.
Spend my money wisely. I'm giving a lot of my motherfucking paycheck to the government. Right?
Yes.
A lot. So spend that money
100%.
wisely, and I'm going to make sure you do. Don't mess with my personal life. If it's not illegal, right?
Yes.
Stop dipping into personal liberties, man. Give me some personal liberties. That's my libertarian side.
I will say this, Jason, and it's a shame. Maybe it's a shame. Maybe it's not. I think the older we get, and definitely the more successful we get, the less of the. So we're fiscally. How does it go again?
Fiscally conservative, socially libertarian. Socially
liberal.
Yeah. Libertarian. I'm more about the freedom side, right?
Right. I'm starting to see, I always agreed with, some people need help. And I still agree with that.
That's what fiscal conservatism is about, though, right? I mean, you want to hand up. You want to hand up, not hand out.
Okay. But I do also believe that there are some cases where, like Social Security. I know kids that have been on Social Security since I went to high school with kids that were on Social Security. They're fucked up. They can't go out and make a living. They're whacked out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but creating a whole system where you know that, okay, if I have a child now, I can get $450 a month for that. So if I have 5 kids, I can get 20. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. That's where I'm really starting to veer off.
And
that.
Brian,
like,
it's the hand up to make people better. It's the positive impact to make people better, right? There's a line between enabling people to do better and creating a dependency. There's a line there, right? There's a line. And it's a moral line in my eyes, right? There's a moral line there.
Sure.
And politicians unfortunately use it to their advantage to create dependencies to buy
oh my
vote.
God,
And it sucks.
they?
It sucks.
On both sides, by the way.
Exactly.
So sad.
100% on both sides. 100% on both sides. But
okay, let's move on from politics. Forget politics.
This is a great transition.
Lou Liga doesn't allow politics in the. It's like, shut the fuck up. If you
stop talking about politics,
shut the fuck up.
This is a great. This is a great quick transition. Bruce digs Jason's P cap.
I love the P cap. I love it too.
Yeah, baby.
By the way, tomorrow they'll be on sale at stickchasers.com. No, I'm only kidding. I'm not ready for that.
Hey, I love my P cap too, man. I love my P cap too.
But
I love
it. Yeah. So like in regards to like some of your marketing, right? And some of the, I guess you could say, like, you know, because you come up with frequent blends on a frequency, and some of them could be interpreted from some of the generational performers of our industry as, oh wow, like he's breaking the secret code or the secret agreement we had with the FDA that would promise we're not going to market to kids. Like, you're not marketing to kids. It's ridiculous. Like,
it
when
is
you say
ridiculous.
that, like,
and I
totally...
also like to think that I'm a global or critical thinker, right? Mm-hmm. I never like to believe that. Look, we all think we're right. We all have these emotional transactions where we're like, I know I'm right, but then I like to sit down and think, am I really right? Well, how does the situation look to Joe? How does the situation look to Jason?
Perspective.
Can I understand? Yes, perspective. Can I understand their hold on one sec, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
Right. Oh boy. Yeah. So
it sounds like people are racing motorcycles or something.
Sorry, they're doing a leaf blower outside the studio. Okay.
Somebody's racing a motorcycle.
Yeah. So you know, so I try to think of it from those perspectives as well. I've always, Tobacco Business Magazine gave us an award, and they did an article on us. And after talking with me for a few hours, Antoine Reed titled the article, "Giving the People What They Want." And so,
cheers to that. Cheers to that.
I have to give the people what they want. Look, you start poking, right? And then something gets that knee-jerk reaction, and you're like, oh shit, this is cool. They like this. So like, you know, I'll keep doing it. I've been straying away from it to a degree, but I'm always going to do a little jab here and there because I don't want to create negative attention. Although from what I understand from the people I know that have actually spoken to the people that were working on the National Association of Sciences review for the FDA, they actually felt that because we're a private club and because this is such a low-key thing, they're not really paying attention to this. What they are sensitive to, believe it or not, this came up in conversation, and I believe the person that told me this. The thing that they're most sensitive to is the idea that if you smoke a cigar, you're a rich guy in a convertible car in a luxury lounge. And they really, supposedly, that was like a sensitive thing for them, where they didn't like the fact that they made cigars look so luxurious, and they felt that that was really influencing marketing. And so I don't know the truth. I do know that that whole thing was a little bit of sabotage. And the article that came out with Half Wheel, where the title is "Stop Marketing Cigars to Children."
That was a shitty title, man.
That's where I went ballistic because, and there was no critical thinking that needed to be done on that topic for me. That is disgusting. That would be like saying to, someone in, I don't know, I don't know what business. Sorry for the loud noise, guys. But I mean, you're basically, to me, that sounded pedophilic or something. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do kids have anything to do with this? There's no children. How about, let's say, marketing cigars to youth? Well, then we have an idea. Maybe youth means, 19-year-olds, 20. But children, to me, that's people that are minors. If you're telling me that, I'd rather go broke in the street than to force tobacco products on children that can't, that shouldn't be smoking. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
but
that's
you wanna
why
know, I look at this as opportunistic. They took an opportunity to try to push an agenda, right? Because the prime example that I use all the time is craft beer. Joe talked about it earlier, craft beer, right? I love a local brewery in Connecticut called Beard. They have kittens in canoes. They have dogs in boats. My 11-year-old son is, Dad, are you getting dogs in boats?
Wow.
I am, right? I am. And he's like, I can't believe you drink beer, Dad. That's gross. Like, it's an 11-year-old
Right.
mind. That's gross, right?
Right.
So it's like, no, they're not marketing to kids either, right? But it's kittens in canoes. It's dogs in boats. It's, it's just this ridiculous opportunistic style to try to attack an industry.
Here's the worst part. Their biggest, and this is the law of attraction, right? This is why when you don't like someone, do everything you can to ignore them. Don't mention them. Don't talk about them. If their name comes up in the conversations, change the topic. The less attention and energy that person's name and whole aura gets, the better chance you have of them just going away.
Yeah.
When you write an article like that, shame on you guys.
You're drawing attention.
For writing that article, because that is the only tip that anyone in the FDA will ever see to turn that around on the cigar industry. Yeah. That article should be taken down, and they should be ashamed of themselves for writing it. It's the only thing that, look, this is how you got to look at it. I walk in, I'm hired by the FDA, right? I go to Washington, D.C., I put on my fucking suit, and I show up at work, and they're like, hey, this is your case. This is premium cigars. Get busy. Well, what the hell do I know about premium cigars? I'm a lawyer or whatever I do. And so I start looking around online. I start going into
Google
cigar
food.
shops.
You start hitting Google.
Guess what comes up? Now this article comes up.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, here's something. I can work with this.
And what it is it's a perception. You're attacking your own industry. It's a perception.
That was the dumbest thing that kid could have ever done. And I've had the idea for Cigar Public all along because they're not look, each segment of this, I call it the waves, right? So the first wave was through the cigar boom. That was Cigar Aficionado's time. They fucking crushed it. Yeah. Okay. During that time, they crushed it. And by the way, if you go back and read some of the articles that were in Cigar Aficionado, they're brilliant. They would go to the locations. It was really National Geographic style stuff. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. Turned into something else, but so does everything. Everything changes. Then we come into the second wave, which is the boutique wave. And these guys we have Half Wheel. Now, Half Wheel never claims to be Rolling Stone. They claim to be Billboard magazine, which is about as boring as you can get. Legislature and this, that, and the third. Most people don't read it. Only people in our industry, typically. Okay. They do new releases and reviews, and we all like that. So a couple people read it, a couple people don't. This third wave started probably around 15, 16, 17, around the time we came in. And then we really kicked it in full gear with Privada. This is what I call the third wave. It's the craft. And what I mean by craft is we're now starting to actually give a shit about how the products are being made and who's making them. And that's really cool. That means that we're getting culinary, guys. It's turning into wine. It's turning into craft beer. There will be legends made out of this from the craft perspective of owning their craft and doing it better than anyone else can. It creates a lot of pride in product. When you get pride in product, when AJ calls me and says, I want to be a part of this movement, and to prove it, I'm going to get you the best cigars I've ever made. Now we're getting things that are just out of control good, and we're really onto something. And so that's where we're at now. We don't have the media that does that. And so that's where Cigar Public's going to come in. And I think what you guys are going to like in particular about Cigar Public is that it's pretty user generated. Just like most things now, it's very open source. And so we're going to be bringing you an audience that you didn't have before. We're going to repost your podcasts. We're going to repost other people's reviews.
Yeah.
We're going to post tons of stuff off YouTube that people are making at home. And instead of getting 60 views or 160 views or 600 views, we're going to try to push those to thousands of views and create a real culture and community that has characters and stars and entertainment. And that's what we need right now. And I'm proud to be a part of it. I really didn't want to take on the workload, which is why I hesitated up until that point. But I've hired some good people. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This is not to be a Pravada fest. That is not what it is. I am paying for it entirely for the first year. It's costing me about 150 to 200 grand. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put it up. Yes, I will own it. Okay, it will be mine because I'm paying for it. But it belongs to the people. Someone could put an article in there saying that they don't like Privada. That's not my business. I don't want, after that first year, I'm going to step away. At that point, it's going to be sink or swim. If the people that are running it can't keep it successful, then it won't be successful. And it wasn't very well wanted in the first place. But I don't think that's going to happen. And another thing that I'd like to do is keep the reviews extremely biased. And so we've decided recently, we picked 23 reviewers so far that passed these challenges that we put them through of rating cigars. And we're going to be unbanding the cigars before they get them. They should not know who made the cigar because it influences the outcome of the score.
Yeah. So you want complete unbiased review. No bias
Complete
at all.
unbiased review.
Unbiased review. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so in the technology community way back when, and it happens all over now, that's called crowdsourcing. Right?
There you go.
You're crowdsourcing the talent, the reviews, the opinions, right? You're taking it from the community and bringing it in and educating people. And you want to know what? At the end of the day, you're 100% right. It's like culinary. It's like wine. It's like finding a good restaurant or a chef. My tastes are different than Joe's tastes, are different than Paul's tastes, are different than Brian's tastes, right? And I'm going to enjoy a certain thing. What we need to do as a community is respect each other's opinions, respect each other's tastes, right? And that's what we need to be doing and bonding together around that, right? Instead of creating divides.
100%. And Jason, it's funny that you say that because I had a conversation with a few people last week. One of them has written books on cigars, a guy named Nick Cutro out of the Tampa area, really nice guy. He makes cigar molds for a living. That's what he's done since, I think, the late 90s. Wow. And he claims that he has a kit, and I'm going to make it available to my people, that somehow takes like a DNA sample on a, like when you like how to tell if you're in ketosis or you like piss on a strip or you put a strip in your pool.
It's the keto test.
So,
Yes.
So there's these tests that you can do that will give you a score, like a letter score, and there's only 4 possible scores. And what he's saying is that there are certain people out there that can enjoy every kind of cigar. And there are other people whose composition will only allow them to like a certain type of cigar because they're extremely sensitive. So there's a ton of things that we're going to discover in the next 5-10 years that are going to change this game. Yeah. I would love, and I can't wait to see the day that cigar lounges turn into more of a brewery style thing with maybe tours or educational stuff. I know Eric at Oakland Tobacconist is doing this out at his place, tasting nights. There's a bunch of guys starting to do that. Man, the sky's the limit if we treat this as a culinary thing. Yeah, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
That's 100% it, right? And you're right. The breweries do that, right? You go into a brewery and you can get an IPA, you can get all these different types of beers, and you start to know your style. And Joe, I think you brought it to the table. One of the last episodes we did on Stogie Geeks is you can buy those kits so you can start testing your profile, right? What you like. What was the kit? Talk to me about those kits.
Actually,
again.
There's an invoice for you next door. I got one.
You got one. All right, sweet. No,
Brian, I love spending other people's money. Like I've been spending Paul's money since 2017. Give me some time, I'll start spending yours. Like, but yeah,
I'm fine.
I'll put it aside.
Fair enough.
I got Jason a blending kit. It's actually the Rojas blending kit
Love that.
there, and I was like, and they only ordered 10. And so I pulled the owner aside. I was like, put one aside for me, Jason, and Paul.
Oh,
right.
that's
So
great.
you have
I
one,
love it.
and
I love it.
they're gonna do a blending night. And I'm doing some internet super cool stuff with Rojas coming soon. Just
Cool.
Yeah, buddy.
non Stogie Geeks there as me, right? And
Joe Hollywood.
it's super cool because out of a lot of my interviews, I was like, man, like some people get it, right? And some people are old fashioned business model. Some people do their thing and whatnot. But like, I dig his business approach. I dig his poise. Again, it always starts out, whoever you are in the cigar industry, I silently watch you. I observe you. I see where you are. And then if I have a chance to get you on a show, I get you on a show, whichever.
That sounds like Santana's approach in the interview.
No,
bro.
'cause- no. It's really been my style, right? Like it's just my style. And when you do a kit like that, like I've realized that like I can smoke something unbanded and pull out region. Now, if it's certain profiles, I can guess it on the pre-draw. And now this led me to being on some tasting panels for some cigar companies, right?
Very cool.
So I've been on some tasting panels, give them some feedback. I'm like, I want nothing unbanded. We've always talked for 4 years of me doing a show like, what is Joe smoking, and have me guess it. I will guess like wrapper, binder, filler, and region. No bullshit.
Wow.
I can probably guess brands, and it relates to a story of a cigar shop. Every time I walk into a cigar shop, the ones that know me, even when I travel or whatever, they always hand me something unbanded. And I remember saying to the owner, like, what do you think? And certain times I'm like, I hate it, but I know it's going to sell, right? Or I'm like, oh, this is made with Aganosa leaf. Like Aganosa. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm like, tell me your story. He tells me your story. Guess what? It was. And the owner's like,
100%.
holy shit. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like, because to me, Aganosa leaf leaves a certain profile on mine. And I have one of those memories where it sticks. But what has brought me to get to this point of my smoking is, number one, slow down on your smoking. It shouldn't take you 45 minutes for a Robusto. Try to go for that hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, sometimes hour 40, right? Slow down your smoking, slow down your cadence, and then also go through those blending kits. I've done a bunch of them, and we have one that we're going to do together, and there's an event and all that stuff.
I can't
When
wait.
he came on the show, when he came, not the show, but when he came here and we filmed him blending in front of us, we put out these products with him called Puritos, which were the precursor to his blending kits. And man, people went nuts over them. And I would smoke these Puritos. They're just one leaf. This is how they blend at the factories. They'll roll them up and then they'll taste them and go, okay, this would be good with that, and that would be good with this. And man, it's like some of this stuff, you really don't need to blend it. It's fantastic. It makes you wonder why they even blend it in the first place, because there's some of these leaves. Jalapa is just such a great, thing. It's really impressive.
Well, some of the reasons, because it'd be a $22 Polito. Right?
Sure,
You know what I mean?
you're right.
Which some people might buy, but you also have to take all those things into consideration. What am I going to sell this product for?
Have you guys tried 1491 yet?
So that's on my next. That's on my next, man. I'm
very proud of that.
Yeah,
Very proud of
so
that.
I've heard some buzz around that. It's definitely where I want to go next. No doubt about it.
Nice.
No doubt about it.
It's so, just so you know, Joe, it is the indigenous Dominican tobacco, which is actually Corojo. A lot of people think it's Olor. It's not. Well, it's arguable, but according to my guy, it's not. It's this Dominican Corojo. And this is the original tobacco of Dominican Republic before Columbus came. That's why it's called 1491. And it is from one plant. That's it. It's not a blend. It's just all from one plant. Even the wrapper is from this one Corojo plant that is grown by Leo Reyes and made by Chico Rivas.
You want to know what sold me, Brian? You want to know what sold me? Is when Johnny Taquitos came out and said it's the cigar of the year. when Johnny Taquito, you put a video out there, and Johnny Taquito said, "This is the cigar of the year, the 1491." I'm like, I gotta go buy some shit. It's in my cart, right? It's in my cart right now.
It's phenomenal, and Johnny's really got. It's been really fun to watch him grow as a cigar smoker. When he first started coming in here, he'd smoke a cigar, and but after hearing us and watching all the interviews firsthand, and the guy's really got a good palate.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the Refinado, success, brother, success. Holy shit!
Thanks.
What a good cigar. So up front, nice and creamy, right? Just nice and smooth. I'm on this back third now. I'm starting to taste some salty, a little tiny bit of spice, some leather. This fucking thing is the bomb, man. You gotta talk to Santana and bring some more of these out. I only bought a handful, man. I gotta go buy some more of these.
We're working on more of those, and we're working on. They're expensive to make, but we're working on those, and we're working on a product that I won't leak it now, but we're working on a product together that we'll be spending probably 30 or 40 grand just on the packaging. And it's a similar blend, but it has a Connecticut wrapper, and it's one of the most beautiful cigars I've ever seen. And Santana's been working on the art for this for years, and we're having it printed in Holland with the big company over there. And it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Take us through. Okay, you have to come up with at least 11 formats. I'm sorry, 11. Like there's 11 months in the year. Sorry, what the hell are we drinking? The red breast is kicking in. Right? You have to come up with 12 formats, and you got some, a year for the retailers, and
so we have 12. We have 12 cigars in Pravada Cigar Club.
Yep.
And then, 12 months of 3 cigars each. So that's 36 cigars.
Yep.
And then I do about 24, 16 to 24 in LCA. Plus some other things.
Yep. So in your mind, it's probably 2023 already, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So take us through the end of that line. So what's coming out in the next 6 months, whatever, 12 months, whatever. Do you, smoke a cigar and think, I want to come up with this concept? Or does it organically happen as you're going through the process? You know what I'm trying to ask you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I like to do is, and this is the way that I wrote songs as well, and you're from Berkeley, so you probably will have zero respect for me after this, but I only wrote lyrics. So typically I wrote like a rapper writes, where you send me a track and then I write a song to it. So I do the same thing with cigars. I'm asking these people for their best blends constantly, and I'm getting test blends from every factory around the world constantly, and I'm smoking through them. And every once in a while, something jumps out at me. And then I start to think about either what it reminds me of, or what kind of branding I'd like to see on it, what I think would make it better. Because I will say this, Joe, for better or for worse, I can put out the same cigar with a different band on it, and it can be a total different experience. And, like Cookie Monster blew the hell up. The cigar was good. It wasn't the best cigar we've ever put out. We put out another one called Half Cookie 2 years later, or a year and a half later, and that was way better than that. But everyone still only wants to talk about, the Cookie Monster. So it's timing, it's band, it's blend. But I get inspired while I'm smoking the thing. Very rarely, once in a while, I come out with a product where I'm like, I want to make a cigar like this. And this is one of those. This is the GOAT. This had a lot to do with size, and I needed it to be Cuban-esque because MJ smokes Cubans. And we needed special molds made for it and all that stuff. So, but that's very rarely. Most of the time, I don't like to interfere with the way that the blender does his thing. This is their art. This is their craft. I'm some gringo sitting here in America. What business do I have telling them, oh, you should add more of this, or I need a little more, once in a while I'll be like, look, I'll give pointers like, listen, where I am an expert is in collecting data, collecting feedback. I listen to my people, and I put out 3 cigars a month in the club, and I get probably 1,000 emails about each cigar, and they tell me what they loved, what they didn't like, that kind of thing. So I'll go back to a blender and say, hey, look, feedback was really good. If you could make it a little spicier, this thing would be off the charts. And so sometimes that's how cigars are made as well.
Crowdsourcing,
maybe, and data. Using that data to create intelligence. Right?
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah, and by the way, like rollers should pay attention.
Yeah.
Like plug into your system, and then you have crowdsourcing about what it is that you're blending. And there's two things, couple things about Berkeley, right? Number one, you said brand, and we're gonna hold on to that for a second. You also said, I let the person do their craft. And Berkeley tells you need 3 things to be a musician. Doesn't matter what you play. If you play the freaking cowbell or if you play the freaking drums or guitars.
We need more cowbell, baby.
It tells you
more.
No, it
we
tells
need
you,
more cowbell.
It tells you number one.
I got a fever, Joe. I got a fever.
Oh yeah, here we go.
The only cure is more cowbell.
Right, that's true. Right? No, Berkeley tells you number one, in order to be a well-rounded band, you need to let each person navigate their craft. Okay? So boom, that's number one. You have that checklist. Number two, Berkeley tells you if you want to be a good musician, you need 3 components. Okay? Stage presence, dictation, and obviously theory. So theory, know your instrument, know what mode you're in, know where the hell you're going, and know what the hell's coming up, right? Business model. Stage presence, you got to be pretty cool on stage, okay? Dictation, dictate that instrument, or if you're a vocalist, dictate your pronunciation of whatever craft and style of music that you're in. So, if I were the Berkeley professor and I evaluate Brian, okay, stage presence, clearly you got that covered.
Hell
right?
yeah.
Because I can't even keep up on our freaking Discord server or the YouTube chats to get everyone in. So stage presence is covered.
We love you all. We're
Right?
trying.
Theory, you let people do their craft and you're providing them with the music sheet or the cheat notes or the cliff notes. I'm showing my age. I don't even know if they're called cliff notes anymore, right? Cliff notes, right? You're providing them with that. So you're helping them out with the theory to educate the consumer to find out what they like, okay? And dictation, I think you got that covered too. So you're golden.
Thanks.
Like,
Thank
you know what I mean? Like, you got everything.
Thank you. Can I tell you that we always had problems with our Berkeley musicians in our bands?
Yeah, because they're all water fire, tree hugging hippies and liberals.
Well, no. They were always way better than They were too good and they knew it.
Yeah.
And so they would get bored.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I had one drummer that we had out of Berkeley. The kid was amazing. And every time we do a live show, I notice I'm running out of breath, and I never run out of breath on this song. And it's because he's adding shit because he was coming from a jazz type environment. And I was just like, yo, dude, can you stick to the fucking click track? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we had another guy named Brady Watt. He was a bass player. And I spoke to a classmate of his, and she said, you know, the professor hated him because he told the professor that there's nothing more you can teach me, right? And let me tell you, the kid is world class as a bass player. But again, it was like, do you need your bass player to be fucking amazing? No, you just need him to have the groove. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there was a lot of that. And then Mitch Mitchell on the guitar, he was Eddie Van Halen Jr. I've never seen anything like it. The guy was so technical. It was unbelievable. And, you know, he would want to steal the show with the whole, you know, him doing solos the whole time.
Yeah.
So
you do get bored playing in bands. I've played in my cousin's band when their guitarist
What do you play?
I play guitar. Right?
Nice.
So I've always wanted to sing because, like, I think I would make a great rockabilly singer, right? But I can't even talk to you and play. So like I can't. Like I've tried to sing it, but I can't do it, right? However, if I'm playing in your band, I'm sticking in bullshit too because I'm bored. It's like because like if you're playing in E. Think Metallica, it's in E, right? Blah, blah. If you're in Nickelback, it's drop D, okay, right? But if you're in E, like the key of E, you can do like B Phrygian. And like people like, dude, you're like, screw this crowd, screw this band.
No one knows anything about what you're talking about right now.
And by the way, if you're following like a traditional music pie chart, you know, Music 101, If you're playing an E, it's B, A, and D, right? And like, what the hell are you doing in B? No, man.
It's my initials.
It's my jazz
Joe,
infused.
that's my initials.
Nice. There you go.
So yeah, it's you do get bored quick. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's
so. I love the pod. I think you guys are so pro. It looks amazing, whether it's because of you guys or not. And I'm hearing that this is all set up by an Armenian guy. I heard the last name.
It is 100%.
Yeah.
My wife, I know. It's amazing that once you learn that every Armenian's last name ends in IAN or YAN, they're Armenian. It's crazy. My wife is Armenian. That's how I know that.
There you go.
Yeah. Paul, like I said, but we have a production crew who puts this together. I can say in the industry, production, it's the best in the industry. Volume wise and listening, we are the third largest podcast, so we're number 3. Because numbers don't lie, right? Like I'm a numbers guy, right? So tell me what the numbers are. I can tell you what number 1 is. I can tell you what number 2 is. Our sponsors say, give us the feedback. Like, this is how many hits we get from your site and whatnot. And I cannot believe that Stogie Geeks in 2020 took a little bit of a turn because internally we got acquired by another company in cyber, and there's been a lot of like bandwidth issues as far as like when we could produce the show. In 2017, Paul Asadorian and Cigar Coop, they went their own separate ways. I came in 2017. Cigar Coop does this thing. Okay, cool. I've held. It's like
Cigar Coop. Ugh.
Like, well, but it's like one of those things that like, and I'm like,
I don't understand how he can run a podcast. He can barely put sentences together.
Well, honestly, I stutter in real life anyway, and like,
no, not you.
Dude,
I'm like, William, how are you doing this for a living? Come on, guy.
I can't believe that like I was on radio. Like, you know what I mean? Like the people used to be like, this kid's like freaking a punk. He stutters. Like, it's crazy. It's like, dude, listen. At the end of the day,
no, you have command. You have command on the. You're a big character on the mic.
No, thank you. I'm a big character off the mic.
I'm sure.
Actually, you know what's kind of funny, Brian? A lot of my close friends are like, dude, you haven't even like let your hair down on Stogie Geeks. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I haven't even. I always told Paul, like, whenever it's my last episode, like, you need to give me notice, like, cause like it's gonna be like the craziest thing. You know, he's like, what do you mean your last episode? Are you leaving? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm just saying, like, you know. But yeah, it's just like it's a super cool platform. You know, a lot of new podcasts have sprouted out with COVID. It's nothing more than a Zoom meeting that's recorded or whatever. And hey, you know, honestly, like I wish we could do this daily. Me too. Because I have so much stuff to talk about the industry.
It's awesome.
That's
awesome.
And like for those of you who know me or who have been on interviews with me, like the first 10 minutes before a show should always be recorded because it's freaking organizational chaos by me. And also like I do no show prep. Like the number 1 podcast numbers wise is the Cigar Authority. Like, it is what it is, right? And like Dave Garofalo has come to the studio and taken a look at the studio, and he pulled me aside. He's like, number 1, like, wow, you know, he's walked in the studio. Okay, cool. And he's like, the first thing Dave Garofalo said to me is like, I remember watching an episode where like your co-host bailed and your interview bailed, and you went in like by yourself. I'm like,
is he a nice guy? Is Dave a nice guy?
Let me tell you something. Super nice dude. Super nice dude. You have to look at the business model, right? Mm-hmm. I have always followed the business model with wherever I go, career wise, whichever. Like Dave Garofalo goes to all the shows, does his buying. He's got a successful retail shop. So for you to be a sponsor,
and he's one of the few retailers that I can look at and go, this guy obviously has passion for what he does. I mean, he seems to really enjoy it.
Yeah, he does. You know, I think honestly, like comparatively, like Stogie Geeks business model, there's no like, hey, by the way, Stogie Geeks, go here to buy X, as opposed to some of the other good podcasts. Like if you take KMA, like which is Abe Dababna, right? I remember him when he went the other way, right? He was a podcast, Kiss My Ash Radio, and then he went to the radio stations, which makes sense because it's in the area and the region that he has like 17 shops or 21 shops, something like that, and whatnot. And so they changed it to KMA Radio, and then he does that there and then goes there. But again, if you're Dave Garofalo or Abe Dababna, you could say, go to my URL and buy X that I'm talking about or who I'm interviewing. If you're a Stogie Geek, it's like, yeah, man, good luck finding the sticks. Peace. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that. It makes it organic and real.
That's it. 100%.
Yeah. And
By the way,
yep.
I'm doing this thing. I want to mention it.
Yeah, sure.
I don't normally wear
the
pinky
ring.
rings.
It's the ring.
Yeah. I don't normally wear pinky rings, but I'm doing this thing with Cavalier. If you go to their website and if you're go to their Instagram page and follow them, and there's an official post on their webpage. If you go there and type in official post in the comment, let me tell you the exact phrase. It's official entry post. I think they just posted it at 1:00. You can win this ring. You'll be one of 3 people to have the ring. Me, the owner of Cavalier, Sebastian, and whoever wins it will be the 3 people. It'll be like the Irishman. And we can all,
that's like
sit
a
around and talk about
$3,000 ring or some crazy shit, isn't it? That's
$3,000 for this thing. Gold has gone up, and it's a punch. It's a diamond punch.
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
So Brian, what's next for people like me? I'm a
fanboy.
I'm a client fanboy. Jesus Christ.
Stick chaser.
Stick chaser. No,
Stick chaser. I like that.
I'm a customer.
I know you would.
I'm a client, right? I'm receiving the services of Privada and LCA. I'm down with it. I love it. I'm part of the community. I love being embedded in this community. I love learning. I know you just launched dailies, right? Which you brought that video out about. It's hard for people maybe to afford some cigars these days. You're going to make it more affordable. You're going to put it in front of people. You're going to get more. You're going to bring more and more people into this community. What's next for us? What's next for the folks who are your customers who are getting this great service?
So, about Pravada Fest in Philadelphia at the Luliga Pravada Lounge in Fishtown. That's on July 9th. It's a free event. Come there, hang out with us, have a great time. Pravada Con is the first Pravada Con ever is a Saturday, November 5th here in Orlando. It's the last day for tickets on the website. We will also be selling non-attendee tickets, which will get you the cigars that will be released at the event. Pravada Con is going to be very culinary. It's going to be very masterclass. A lot of listening and learning from some of the best in coffee, wine, spirits, food, pairing, all of these things. We just dropped our most affordable product, which is the dailies. Let me see if I don't think I have it here, but it's a 6-pack. They're all made on AJ's farm. And they have, a clever story that goes with it. They're a way to buy cigars affordably, 6 Robusto cigars. They're all bangers, 2 of each. We have a Sumatra, Habano, and a Maduro. They're all bangers. And they're only, I think they come to like $6.80 or something like that, or $7.20, something, so somewhere in that $7 range. We're also going to be coming out with the thing that I'm smoking, a couple of I'm really going to be focused on packaging in 2023. I want to come out with some things that have never been seen before in our industry. And so there will be some very expensive things coming, a lot of collectors things coming. I think you can expect more of this kind of experience with the cigars. I want more collectible stuff that doesn't cost money. I'd like to get to the point where the LCA cigars also come with a card so you can save them. And then, of course, we release the baseball cards. The whole mission of Privada is to find the best cigars. That's what I'm in search for. I'm in search of the best cigars possible. And so each year, we're getting to narrow it down to get closer and closer to the point where I would say 2023, 2024, By 2024, every single cigar that you get from us will be legendary in some way, shape, or form. It will be a blend that we know is, tried and true and from the right place at the right time and aged the right way. So that's really what you can expect. You can expect the best possible cigars you can get. I challenge anyone to try some of the Privada exclusive stuff and then go try to find something on shelves that tastes or smokes like it. And it's just hard to do because of the way that we give liberty to the craftsmen that make the stuff, the way that we store it, and the fact that we age it now. I mean, I did a video the other day that's talked about having 3 million cigars in stock, and I show them to you. We probably sell 1 million cigars a year in total. So just right there alone, and I can't stop buying, because if I stop buying, I could hurt some of my relationships, so I won't do that. So you got to figure by 2023, 2024, the last year, every cigar was aged almost a year. This year, we're getting over a year. By next year, most cigars are going to be aged 2 years. By 2024, you're going to start getting cigars that are aged by us perfectly with the Boveda or a two-way device in coolers at the right temperature and everything for 3-4 years. So it's unparalleled. And because we've gotten this far, it's allowed me the opportunity to do everything the right way. And it's just going to show in the experience. I have to admit something, Jason.
Yeah.
I thought when we dropped Experience, it was going to be the biggest thing ever. There are people that really subscribe to it, and then there are people that could care less about it. Joe, for anyone that doesn't know out there, Pravada Experience is a thing on our website where you get to pick from 8 of today's best blenders out there. They've made a cigar specifically for this program. They've gone back and forth with me on the tasting notes of the cigar, and each cigar comes with basically a poster that tells you in depth not just the tobaccos that are in it, but I think you'll like this, Joe, but the regions and in most cases the actual farms that they come from, because Leo Reyes can grow a Corojo and Hochi Blanco can grow a Corojo, and they're 2 different tobaccos. So it really helps you narrow down to the region and even the farm as to what you like and what kind of flavor notes to expect from those tobaccos. It does fine, but it's not like Cookie Monster fame, like, holy shit. Explore. We just dropped something on the website, Explore. This is something that all websites
I wanted to get into that with you, too. I wanted to get into that with you.
Explore is, all right, I'm smoking this. I know it comes from Tobacco de Costa Rica. Okay, so now I have 5 ways to search my tobaccos. I have tobacco leaf, I have flavor notes, I have factory, I have size, and I have one other thing. I forget what it is. And so basically, like, I'm getting peach out of this, right? So I'm going to go to the site. I go to the flavor wheel. I look for peach. I click peach, and it's going to bring up all the other cigars on our website in stock that we've gotten peach notes out of. And so it's creating this narrowed down way to make sure that you're buying the right cigar every time.
It creates my personal profile, right, Brian? So I'm an IT guy. I'm about data. I'm about data points. I'm about KPIs, right? Yeah. I love getting data. And when you can tell me that I can pick country, tobacco, flavor, factory, and Vitola, when I can go through those profiles and then hone it down to the experience that I want, now you're creating a situation where you're honing in on Jason Albuquerque's profile, right? That's the ultimate impact on a client, right? Yeah. Because now you're allowing me and you're giving me the data to figure out what my profile is, my preference is. That's why I wanted to hit on Explore. I wanted to hit on that because you're giving me opportunity now for me to find brands that I probably would have never bought just by scrolling through a website. By going through a profile.
Taking all this 4 years of data of tasting notes, pairing notes, and all the information that comes along with it, and turning that into a way to buy cigars.
That's modern day service delivery in the cigar industry. Modern day. I'm
very proud of it. But at the end of the day, the point that I'm making is They want that hot boy shit. And what I mean by that hot boy shit is they want that French fry.
Yeah.
They want that Subterraneo. They want that dailies. They want that goat. They want these things that trigger this shit that makes them go, I need to have that. And so that's my goal, is to constantly be putting out products that are superior, yes, but will also grab the attention of this third wave of cigar smokers.
No, I love it.
Absolutely. We got about 3 or 4 minutes left here. We can go both ways. Any final questions for Brian? And Brian, you have any final questions for us?
I do have a final question for you. First of all, thank you for having me on here. It means a lot to me. It's by far the most professional podcast I've seen in cigars, and I'm looking forward to expanding your audience on Cigar Public. What do you guys see for cigars going forward? What do you obviously this third wave, we touched on this craft thing. Is there anything that I might be missing? Is there something I should be looking into? Do you how do you see cigars going from here? We went through a boom, and we're not losing the boom. Nope. It's sort of plateauing, it looks like, and that's fine because we brought in so many new cigar smokers during COVID, which, it makes it fine to plateau. And also, you don't want to boom all the time because you deplete resources. So, like, what are you guys seeing for this industry? Anything come to mind?
You have another 4 hours?
Yeah, totally. Hey, listen. Let's do part 2, right?
Yeah,
because we could go down a rabbit hole. But here's what I'll say at a high level in 60 seconds. Keep creating that positive impact experience. That's basic, right? At the basic level, that positive impact experience, knowing that you have personalities to work with, right? Some folks are going to want to go for that experience. That's the boom, like you talked about, the band, right? The Cookie Monster, and that type of experience. That's people's preference. They want that. They want that excitement, right? I love mail call. I love fucking mail call. I love waiting for my box to come in, hit that mailbox, and it's exciting to me. I love that experience. But the other half of me says, I want to dig deep. And that's a different mentality. I want to dig deep into knowing myself better, knowing the cigar industry better, knowing, again, related to food and culinary, knowing the tastes that I like, right? Understanding the blender's mentality better, educating us more, right? I love the fact that I get educated. I love that. And that's an other level of the personality where, as long as Privada keeps educating me and keeping me entertained and keeping that stickiness with me, right? Yeah. I'm there. All topped off, the culmination is customer experience.
Yep.
Customer experience is the top of that, right? If you look at it as a pyramid, top is customer experience. Now start driving in. Start driving in into, teach me more, show me more. Be that thought leader, give me knowledge that I can take back and use for my particular profile, right? And then, hey, every once in a while, give me that banger band that's the goat. Yeah. I'm going to chase the goat. I'm a stick chaser. Right. We talked about that. Right. I'm going to chase the goat, right? And I'm going to smoke
Did you get the French fry?
I haven't bought it yet. No, I told you.
Oh, wait till you try this thing. Wait till you try this thing.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to try them all. But what I continuously buy is going to be different. Right, so you're gonna see, once you start building the data profile on Jason Albuquerque, you're gonna see he tried AJ's experience. He tried out all his experience.
You are the Gary V of cigars. You know that, right? Gary V of cigars. I love that, bro. I gotta pick your brain more often, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But
truly,
keep doing what you're doing. Let's work together as a community to step that up. I think from a social media and connection perspective, we got to figure it out, because social media is limiting, right? Instagram is limiting shit. Facebook is limiting shit. How do we build? And this is not something I have an answer for. This is something that I know we together as leaders can start talking about, how we create a great experience for our clients, right? Our listeners, the people we want to share information with. How do we get to them? And I call it an omni-channel perspective, right? I'll go to web, I'll go to Discord, I'll go to social media. I'm a tech guy. I go to all of them. But not everybody works that way. Some people are Twitter-centric. Some people are Instagram-centric. Some people don't want to touch Discord. How do we get the omni-channel connection with our community? That's huge.
I'm working on it.
That's huge. I love it.
I am
I
working
love to be
on
part
that.
of it. I love to be.
Now I know. Now that I know who you are as a person, no, like as a mind, you will be involved. Trust me, you'll be getting calls from me.
I love it because again, it's engaging. It's engaging all of us, right? And all of us feel some level of positive impact that means something to us. If you can make a positive impact on a diverse community of cigar smokers, we win. All of us win. All of us.
I love that, man. I wish everyone thought like you. Jesus,
we all win, man, and that's what I want. I love this community. That's why I'm part of.
Too.
That's why I'm part of this. I mean, between Joe and Paul, I'm here because of these two dudes teaching me. Right? I started in a cybersecurity podcast. We would smoke cigars during the cybersecurity podcast. I was a cigar smoker. I love cigars. I enjoyed cigars. These guys got me deeper, right? Deeper level. Think about this, Jason. Think about that.
Love that.
Let's try. I mean, let's try this different. Let's try pork tenderloin, right? I mean, they had pork tenderloin, Tatuaje pork tenderloin, aging forever. They brought it out on a show, and Joe looked at me and he goes, "You're gonna be fucking spoiled forever, bro. Like you're gonna taste the cigar." And he started talking to me about tasting notes and all of this shit. He goes, "You're gonna be spoiled forever." That was a fucking banger cigar. Now that's like a baseline now for me, where I'm smoking shit and I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Now I gotta compare it to that. You know what I mean? So So it's giving that deeper level of knowledge for the people who want to consume it, right? For the people who want it.
Yeah, and
100%.
I love the sharing aspect.
It's a collective thing. We're all thinking in the same direction in that sense. And I'm working on. We need a social media that is one for all for cigar smokers. And my challenge is going to be with creating that and with making Cigar Public successful is to somehow get even the people that don't like Privada to understand that it's for the good of the community. It's not just to benefit me. We don't have a safe space. Discord is the closest thing to it. And I'll just be honest with you. I have a Discord group of about 1,600 people, and I love them, and I plan to spoil them. I don't know that Discord is the end all be all. It is definitely a unique experience. It's like speed dating.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm part of that Discord server, right? I'm part of that. Right. I don't engage as much as I would want to, right? I really would love to engage, with that team. Harry does a fucking phenomenal job with Discord. That fucking dude is great. Came out with our own Discord cigar. I bought one. I have it sitting in my humidor right now. I'm a 36.
You shouldn't have bought one. You should have got it for free.
Yeah, you're right. I did get one. You're absolutely right. Yeah, okay. I went through the process. I got it for free. I have it sitting in my humidor. Nice. How do we expand that though? Because you want to know what? My father-in-law who loves to smoke cigars, he's not going to go on Discord. How do we engage him? Right? How do we engage a different? That's the omni-channel communication.
I know what we need, and it's already there. It's just not a safe space. So, but we're going to get it for where no one's going to tell us we can't post about this or post about that.
And keep it open and transparent, and let everybody just talk and share and educate, and positive vibes, man. It's all about It's all about the positive impact in the community, and that's why I'm here. That's why I love these dudes all day long. These guys are brothers of mine. You're now in my brethren, my friends. So
100%.
I love the shit. I love the community, and the more I engage, the more I find really, really good people who want to share.
Cigars attract good people.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely. As far as the future, that was a long 60 seconds.
Sorry.
As far as the future of the that was like a Joe Josepa 60 seconds for sure.
I learned from the best. Best.
As far as like where the industry is going, we should probably do a part 2.
Yeah.
That leaves
for sure
that there, because there are so many different things, either legislatively, that I think the future of cigar lounges is going to be. There are things culturally that I think the cigar lounge is going to be. My true 30-second answer is immediately you're going to find a lot of consolidation, meaning the bigger companies swallow up the smaller companies. Happens a lot in cyber, happens a lot with craft beer, and I hope that in that process, the person who's doing the creativity, honing his or her craft of the actual 200 hands or 300 hands process in the cigars, I hope that quality is not lost in that consolidation of the market. But there'll be a lot of consolidation, especially if the FDA goes the way it goes, which isn't why like it's another 15, 20 minutes added on to that. So we need to do a part 2. But yeah, ton of consolidation in the market. A lot of collaboration, which has started already. I've been saying this for the past 2 years in and out of Stogie Geeks episodes, saying there's going to see a lot of collaboration in the market for us. And this is how I think it starts, right? Even in the cyber world, you have collaboration. We use product X and Y because it's going to accomplish this goal. And then after so many of those, they start saying, hey, we should probably buy that product or look at that product or whatever, because they're doing their own version of crowdsourcing. And then there again, boom. So again, collaboration, which I think we're in the storm now of the collaboration storm for sure, right? Clearly, some of your products have some collaboration there. Then you're going to see some really, really strong consolidation movement. And then that's going to escalate. If that creativity process could be pulled out and extracted and held on to, I think it's going to circle back to a combination of your crowdsourcing elements, new business model versus old history and heritage, small business, history and heritage, old business model collide together, and it's going to morph into this change of product that's going to be a hybrid at first, and then it's going to morph into something else. But it's just because
I love it, guys. This was
been,
one of the best conversations I've had in cigars, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud that it will be lamented on YouTube forever, because we will also just some side notes. We're going to send it to you sometime in the beginning of next week. You'll have a link. You can share the heck out of it. I will.
If you want to do an HTML snippet, you can put it on your site and all that stuff there too.
Thank you,
Brian. I want to thank you for your time.
Thanks, Brian.
I want to thank you
awesome,
for having the opportunity for us to interview you. I was so looking forward to this for about a calendar year now. So thank you very much.
Awesome. You guys are the shit. I'll see you soon. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Take care.
See you, brother.
All right. Take care. Peace.
Jason, thank you for your time, business expertise. It was a pleasure. Stogie Geeks, do not forget to go to PravadaCigarClub.com. Visit StogieGeeks.com. You can check us out on social media, but you're better off emailing me at joe@StogieGeeks.com. We'll see you next time. Peace.